everyone, and welcome back to the Unnamed Sports Show. I'm your host, Ryan. I'm joined by Jerry and Jason. How you guys doing?
Good
Doing pretty
man.
good.
It's been a long time coming.
It has
A
been.
long time coming.
It's been a nice little vacation break. Some could say, some others would say, inability to schedule and be on time. And we even were late today, so we apologize for that. But we're here, and we're ready to give you the sports news. And we appreciate all of you joining us. Before we get started, please don't forget to like, subscribe, follow us at Unnamed Sports S on all our social media. We're on the TikTok, we're on the Instagram, we're on the X. I just deleted Instagram, by the way. I
Oh,
found
you
that it
deleted
is
Instagram?
personally now. Don't get me wrong. I still have followed it. I just took the app off my screen
Mm.
so that I'm not tempted with all the videos all the time. But then sometimes I re-download it and watch stuff for like 30 minutes. But whatever, it's no big deal.
You've been off of
You ne- ne-
Go ahead,
God.
Jason.
I was gonna say never download TikTok then.
No,
Stay
exactly.
off the TikTok.
Never download TikTok.
But you've been off of Twitter for a while, haven't you? For
Yeah,
like a
I
long
haven't
time.
had I haven't had Twitter since it was called Twitter, and it's been nice. I've avoided all the negativity on that. I did start a TikTok simply to follow our account, and then I deleted the app off my phone. So I do have a phantom account that follows Unnamed Sports S. Got to get them numbers up, but I myself do not partake on the social medias. Uh, Probably for my own health. Honestly, I'm one of those people that like if I did have a TikTok, I would just be.
Oh, yeah.
The videos are too good. I get them like 5 days later when they come to Instagram, but yeah.
That's what I used to do, and now I like try and getting away from that too, because now I'm on Instagram just doing.
Yeah.
So, well, there's been a lot of news since the last time we spoke. I think last time I was on the show was like middle of February, and then I had a work thing, and then it's been like back-to-back weeks where we haven't been able to get things lined up. So, just to go over a little bit of some of the major news in the NFL, we'll start with the offseason in the NFL. I think by far the biggest move. I don't know if anyone saw this one, Coven. Kirk Cousins is going to not is going is now officially an Atlanta Falcon with a 4-year, $180 million deal. And well, first of all, congratulations to Kirk Chains. But if you think about his career a little bit, you're talking about a third-round draft pick who was drafted to be RG3's backup, and this was an organization that literally leveraged their entire organization to draft RG3. He knew that coming in. He was the backup, like stayed with it, got a good contract there, and then went to Minnesota, got the bag in Minnesota, and now has got the bag part 2 at Atlanta. So always betting on himself, always turning out. It's pretty impressive.
Oh yeah. So a couple memes that I would like to share that I've seen. The first one, obviously, he might not be a Hall of Fame quarterback, but he's a Hall of Fame bag chaser, and that's Bo show. And whoever's in these meetings for him needs to be studied because his account, his agent is doing Lord's work for him because the amount of money that he's gotten over the last few years, kudos.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. I saw a bunch of memes of like one white guy dancing with a bunch of black people. Would be like, as soon as Kirk landed in Atlanta,
I've been after bag after bag after bag. Yeah, that's dude was like pretty popular when we were in high school. And he would just keep doing that same dance, but just different crowds, different areas, and he got pretty popular. He also is the one that did, I want to say, like the dances to like the piano, like when they were doing that for a while. So, cool dude. It's nice to see him back in the rotation for the memes.
Yes, 100%. Another big free agency splash. Jerry, your Broncos cut Russell Wilson. He now is officially a Pittsburgh Steeler for like a $1 million deal. How do you feel about that?
I think obviously it had to happen. Obviously, when you're paying somebody that much money, you want to keep them on the roster, especially considering the fact his 5-year extension hasn't even kicked in yet. He was still on his old contract from the Seahawks, which is just pathetic. But with the way the end of the season went last year, with the benching, and obviously Sean Payton was just not a fan from the get-go, it had to happen. They've obviously made a couple of moves since then to clear up some cap space so they're not in cap hell for the next 5 years, 6 years almost. But it's still set the organization back, like, I would say minimum 6 to 7 years before they're going to be relevant again.
3, because you got 2 years of this bad contract, right? You get a rookie quarterback.
I mean, they have to hit everywhere. They can't afford any misses at this point. I don't know. I don't know how George Patton still has a job, by the way. I don't. Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense. I will say this: after looking at teams like the Eagles and the Rams, like, anything is really possible when it comes to just like manipulating your salary cap. Like, eventually you'll have to pay the piper in some form, but you can mitigate a lot of that stuff with restructured deals and converting everything to bonuses and all that stuff. So I think that while it's true that it does suck to be paying a quarterback who, by the way, was not playing poorly. It's not like he was
not his fault.
Yeah, it's not like it was I mean, he was out playing our quarterback who we're paying 230 million guaranteed dollars to. He was playing better than him, not better than Joe Flacco, but
all right, pal.
But at the end of the day, I guess it just was coaching hatred of that player is enough to get you to cut him. I mean, I thought honestly, like, another year they would have been, I don't know.
I mean, he's not the Russell Wilson that was playing with the Seahawks, right? He wasn't the vintage Russell Wilson, but he was doing well enough to get the job done. As we saw towards the middle of the season, he put us on a huge upbringing there, almost got us to the playoffs.
He won 6 straight games in the middle of the season.
And we're talking about games against the Chiefs and the Bills and the Browns.
Yeah.
Insane.
And if they didn't just bench him, they still had a chance, right?
Yeah.
No.
At the official time of the start of the game, it was probably over.
No, they actually won. They won that game. They won their second to last game, but with what happened earlier in the day, I think it was the Steelers losing to the Seahawks, I believe, that cut us out of the playoffs for some reason.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. And then it was if you guys would have beaten the Texans in the week 14, I think it was, like, that was like the linchpin game because it was an AFC opponent. I think you had a couple NFCs maybe at the end or something. I'm not exactly sure, but the way the tiebreakers broke, if you guys would have won that game, you would have had a really good shot at making the playoffs still.
Yeah, there were 2 games that came to mind this season. It was that game and then the game earlier in the season with the Commanders where we were up 21-3, I think. Let them back in, and then we get a Hail Mary at the end of the game, go for 2. No pass interference called on a ball to Cortland Sutton on the 2-point conversion. Just unfortunate season. Yeah. But the cuts that resulted from Russell's contract, just unfortunate all around.
Yeah. It also resulted in you sending us a pretty good player, Jerry Jeudy, now officially a member of the Cleveland Browns for, I believe, is it a conditional 5th and a 6th, or just a straight up 5th and 6th?
I think straight up 5th and 6th.
Straight up 5th and 6th for this draft.
I thought the 5th was conditional.
It may not be. Anyway, great deal, I think, for both parties. Frees up cap space for the Broncos on a player that I feel like you guys never really got to the point that you thought he was going to be. And the Browns get a solid 2 option to go with Amari Cooper. And you already have Elijah Moore and Cedric Tillman, who's going to be in his 2nd year. So a good wide receiver rotating room of people that can come in and make plays. And Amari Cooper being 31 gives him takes a little bit of the load off his shoulders.
Amari Cooper is 31 years old.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Did not know that.
He's been balling, and honestly,
yeah. This is the best in his career he's been.
Yeah.
But he is, I believe he's 31. Let me double check that. He might be 29. Yeah, he's 29. Sorry, 29. I knew it was one on the end of 30. I couldn't remember if it was just before or just after. But either way, a 29-year-old wide receiver is still not young.
Right.
Yeah, probably turns 30 this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, he'll turn 30 before the start of the season. His birthday's in June. I just looked. So.
Yeah. So, dude, I think had an unfortunate time with Oakland, but since he's been with the Cowboys and then with now the Browns, he's been probably a top 15 receiver consistently and has peaked at that top 10 level. So
yeah, well, and it's interesting too because it's kind of just been like this. Like he left the Raiders, went to the Cowboys, was great, and then kind of fell into that number 2 role. Never had a 1,000-yard season, and then goes to the Browns and has back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. The first Browns receiver to ever do that, and so like this guy who's been a breakout player for a lot of teams. Finally, it seems has found a home at a place where he can really thrive. So, yep, we get Jerry Jeudy. Love to hear it. Some other news inside of the AFC North: the Titans signed Derrick Henry because they needed somebody else that could run it with that squad. No, but $8 million deal for one of the best running backs in the NFL for the last. Now he's aging now. Now he is 30, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
30 or 31. So he's definitely on the downward part of his career, but he's going to a very, very, very good Ravens team that will do a good job of load sharing between him and other players to keep him fresh. What do you think about that move, Jason?
Yeah, I would agree. This is probably the best offensive line he's going to have in his
career.
It's probably in his career. There was one year the Titans had really good
With
duo
Lewan and
Lewan, yeah.
Conklin.
Conklin, thank you. I was going to say your tackle.
Yeah.
But yeah, the interior of that and offensive line was still not as good as the Ravens have. So I'd probably say the best offensive line, at least the best run scheme he's going to see, because what the Ravens do well is being able to set up the run. And that's might be because of the quarterback or because John Harbaugh's good at that when he calls it. Let that be clear, when he calls the run play. But yeah, I mean, you go to a team that's not going to probably force you to run the ball 30 times a game every time, and you're going to have your best looks at running in the ball. I think it's a match made in heaven. I mean, you pair one of the most freak running backs in the league with one of the most freak quarterbacks in the league, and they use both in the run game.
Do the Ravens play the Jaguars next year?
I hope not.
Hey, at least he doesn't play for the Titans anymore.
I hope not, because we won't have to see him twice. You're right on that. But let's see here. But if you guys want to talk about something else, I'll fact check.
Kind of last in the AFC North, Patrick Queen was traded to the Steelers. What was that for? Do you remember?
I do. Sorry, it wasn't traded. It was a free agent signing.
It was a free agent signing.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it was a 2-year deal. I can't remember.
I believe so. I'm gonna check it.
That's actually a pretty big deal because Patrick Queen is quite a good player and was a very, very, very good linebacker to go with what's his name there at the Ravens, guy that came from the Bears. Oh, I can't remember his name.
Roquan Smith.
Roquan Smith. Thank you. Good Lord.
In my head popped up Ronaldo McClain, the old linebacker, but all those Alabama linebackers pop in my head all the time.
3-year, $41 million for Patrick Queen.
That's a good deal. Plus, Joe Mixon was he traded or signed? I thought he was cut.
He was initially going to be cut, but then they
traded at 6.
Yeah.
Yep. So Joe Mixon traded to the Texans. Also, Anthony Walker and Sione Takitaki. I know this because they play for the Browns. Not super big names. Anthony Walker, kind of a big name. He's one of our defensive captains. He now signed with the Miami Dolphins, and Sione Takitaki, who was taking over for him when Anthony Walker was injured, just signed with the Patriots. So we are going to be a little bit. We just signed someone from the Vikings, but I don't know them that well. So
Yeah. You guys
but
also re-signed Maurice Hurst and Shelby
Shelby
Harris.
Harris,
Yeah.
yep, which are great. We needed that for
And
sure.
I think I saw you guys are targeting Jerome Baker. I could be wrong on that
Oh,
though.
that would be big.
That would
would
be
be.
huge.
There would be. There's a lot of names that I would like us to be going after. We'll see. We're in a little bit of cap hell, although Andrew Barry does a great job of having, like, Denzel Ward restructured. Like, everyone will, Jed Wills restructured. Like, a bunch of people, everyone's willing to restructure their deals to make sure we can keep our good players as well as go out and get some additional talent. So it'll be, I think the Browns will be great this year. A couple other free agent, really big ones. Saquon Barkley is now going to the Philadelphia Eagles. If you are in the NFC East, you are like, what the heck? That is absolutely absurd trade. Like, I thought DeAndre Swift, who now is going to Chicago, did great with the Eagles. Now they upgrade in a major way to probably the third best running back in the NFL, who's now going to be playing against, or playing not against, playing with a perennial offensive line with multiple Hall of Famers on it. I guess now Jason Kelsey's retiring. At least one Hall of Famer still on it, and good across the board. So a massive, massive pickup for the Eagles, who Howie Roseman's shown that he will go all in on anybody, anytime, no matter what. It's pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm.
A couple other ones before we move on. Sam Darnold signed with the Vikings, taking Kirk Cousins' spot. Gardner Minshew earned himself a $12 million contract with the Raiders. Baker Mayfield re-signs with Tampa for a 3-year, I want to say $95 million deal, $92 million deal, something like that.
Yeah,
So
with
I think it was
50
range.
guaranteed, I think. Something like
Yeah,
that.
I think it was 33 a year. So 96 it should have been. I guess.
96,
Good for him,
96.
man. Good
Yeah,
for him.
yes,
That's freaking awesome.
yes. Very, very, very good for him. I couldn't
I'm gonna
be
say-
happier.
I'm gonna say this. I honestly thought it was gonna be more. So
I
like,
thought
good
so
on
too.
both of the
Yeah,
parties.
I thought
I
so
really
too.
thought it was gonna be like that Sam Darnold range, 40 about 40 a year, a little bit
Daniel
less maybe.
Jones. You
Daniel,
meant Daniel
thank you.
Jones. Yeah,
Yeah, thank you, Daniel Jones. That Daniel Jones range. So like the
Yeah,
fact
but-
that, go ahead.
No, finish what you're gonna say. Finish what you're gonna say.
Yeah, the fact that they were still able to get him, not only resign him because of the other people that they still needed to resign with Mike Evans and their safety, and get him as cheap is impressive, and it says a lot to probably him as well, because I do believe he could have probably, if he hit the market, it would have been around that 40,000 range. He would have
Yeah.
probably got.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what I was gonna say. Him doing that allowed Tampa to re-sign Mike Evans and re-sign. One of us is gonna remember it.
Junior
The safety.
Winfield. Yeah.
Antoine Winfield Jr. Yeah, we're so good.
And we're Buckeye fans.
I know that's so bad. But no, that those two being signed also makes Tampa now probably the favorites to win the AFC South again. So, or I'm sorry, NFC South again. So,
you think they're the favorites over the Falcons with Kirk Cousins?
yeah, because I think that I don't think Kirk Cousins is going to raise them that many wins. Do you?
If he comes back healthy, yes.
I think with a new coach and with a new quarterback, if the coach is able to use Bijan and Kyle Pitts and Drake London like he's supposed to, then I
Fair
think
enough.
yeah. But we haven't seen it yet. So
Their defense played a lot better than what I think expected last year. I mean, that's probably the reason they were even close to
Their
being a
pass
playoff team.
defense, but their
Yeah,
run
the pass.
defense is garbage.
Agreed.
So
Agreed.
we'll see.
We'll see. They still have draft picks. So a lot can change with the draft.
We'll have to look. We'll have to look at the Vegas odds on who the projected winners of each division are going to be. By the way, I
bet
do
it's-
know. I bet, yeah, it'll be close. The other one, interesting news before we finish up this portion. The odds for the Steelers did not move one iota, even
Yeah,
after
I saw
signing
that.
Russell Wilson.
I saw that.
So, great move, guys. What was it? Going from 10-7 to 9-6-1 Was that who said that?
Yeah.
One of you
Yeah.
guys said that. So a couple other big cuts. David Bakhtiari, the All-Pro left tackle for the Packers, was cut. Guy's always injured, but when he's on the field, he's probably a top 3 left tackle in the NFL. Mike Williams, the one of the best number 2 receivers in the NFL for the Chargers, was cut. And any other big cuts? I'm trying to. Oh, Brian Burns was traded to the Giants. That's another massive, massive trade that happened in the NFL. And they kind of got what, a second round? Was that like, it was not much compensation? They didn't even get a first out of him.
Nope. It was a 5th and a 3rd.
Fifth and a
Right?
third.
No, I think they got a second. Did they?
I'm
I
pretty
thought it
sure
was
it was
the
a 5th and a
second.
3rd.
I thought it was a second and a fifth, but if it's a third and a fifth, either way, it was pointed out by Luke Combs, none other than Luke Combs, that in the last
Yeah.
2 years, the
Noted NFL analyst Luke Combs.
listen though, this is a great point.
It was
This is a great
bars.
point.
It was bars. It was bars.
The Panthers have traded Brian Burns, Christian McCaffrey, and DJ Moore in the last 2 years and have not gotten even a
Yep.
first round out of any of them. And you're talking about like top players at each position. They did not get a first for Christian McCaffrey.
They got a first for DJ. They got the
No, they didn't.
they got the Bears first pick last year.
Technically, no, it wasn't.
Huh.
Yeah, the Bears have the Panthers' first pick. They swapped picks, and now the Bears have their first pick.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's a pick swap. So they didn't get a first round for the
I
player.
gotcha.
They swapped picks, and the Bears got DJ Moore.
I gotcha. Yeah, that's wild.
So,
Yeah.
David Tepper's not doing too good of a job. I don't know who their GM is now. Tepper's obviously the owner, but I know
don't know who
that
it is
people
either.
asked Canales about it, and he was like, "Well, we haven't developed any sort of allegiances to anyone yet because we just started." Which I guess that's one way to start one of your first press conferences, by trading away a beloved player on the team and saying we have no allegiances. But that's
Not
them,
even
I
a
guess.
beloved best player on the team. Period.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
It's not even close.
You know what though? Good for him for getting out of there. I mean, you're going to the Giants, which is another dumpster fire of a franchise, but
They were
least you're not on the
offered a
Panthers.
first round pick for him at the trade deadline last year
I know.
by somebody. I can't remember who it was, but
The Rams,
Yeah,
2 first-round picks and a
Yeah.
second-round pick for the year after. Like, what are
Yep.
we talking about?
and they ended. I looked it up. They ended up getting a second this year and a fifth next year for him. So
Second and a fifth. Yep.
yeah,
Second and fifth. Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
I done
Crazy.
told you.
hey,
Yeah.
you were right. You were right. I was wrong. Right.
No biggie.
two other moves that we didn't have on here that kind of go hand in hand. Josh Jacobs to the Packers, who ended up cutting
yeah.
Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
And
And
he
Aaron
went
Jones is
to
going- Vikings.
Where? The Vikings.
The okay, like let's.
I don't think it's officially signed, but he said that's where he wants to play.
Why do you cut Aaron Jones when Aaron Jones is healthy and both running backs have had health issues? Aaron Jones, I think, is the better running back, in my opinion. Like, what do
I agree.
y'all think? Okay.
I agree. I think it's probably, if I had to guess, some sort of a contractual, like, because Josh Jacobs was a true free agent, I bet they were able to save on caps. I'll have to look it up because I don't know for sure. But my guess would be Aaron Jones was probably going to cost them $15 million, and they could cut him, and then, you know, what they sign Jacobs for, probably because the running back market has now gone backwards.
I think,
I bet-
but I think he did get a good one of the better contracts. I think he was around the 10 to 11 million mark. I could be wrong though.
Yeah, he got a pretty decent
He
contract.
signed a 12 million. Yeah. And the Packers. Oh yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Never mind. Never
No, I
mind.
mean that just tells me you think
They saved
Jacobs-
5.2 by releasing Aaron Jones, and then they signed him to a 4-year, $48 million deal. But It was a $12 million signing bonus with only $1.2 million base salary. But the
Okay.
thing is, you could have just restructured Aaron Jones's contract to reflect that. So it doesn't. I don't know why you would do that. It
I
doesn't
mean,
make any
maybe
sense to me.
Aaron Jones wanted out because he thought he wasn't going to be the starter anymore, which is very likely if Josh Jacobs is in the room. He'd at
Yeah, but
minimum be 60-40.
But what I'm saying is, why even go after Josh Jacobs? You have
Yeah.
plenty of other needs defensively
I mean,
before having to go after a running back. You have a
Yeah.
great
Right.
running back already.
Yeah, we
I
saw
mean-
the offense wasn't the issue last year, like at
right,
all.
and especially at the end of the season, like I said, when he was healthy, like he was the reason they were winning for most of it.
Mhm.
But I mean, to me, that just tells me that you think Josh Jacobs is better, and
I disagree.
that's wrong.
Yeah.
That's just
I
wrong.
think maybe as a pure running back, Josh Jacobs is maybe a little bit better, but as a running back and a receiver out of the backfield, no way.
Agreed.
Agreed.
And they
And you still
have
have AJ Dillon,
Okay, that was going to be my
And-
question.
He.
but
I
there's
mean, I
thoughts
don't.
of him leaving. I think.
Yeah, I don't know if he's staying though. But yeah, I think it said the Giants, Cowboys are the.
I guess
Uh,
he is a free agent.
Giants, Cowboys, and there's another team that are his options.
Which, if the Cowboys don't land like J.K. Dobbins or something, people are going to be very,
They
very
haven't made a
frustrated.
single signing. Not one
They
signing.
made one.
Did they finally make one today?
Yeah, no, they made one 2 days ago. It was a long snapper.
Yeah, it was a long.
Get out of here, man.
Okay.
Big moves.
All in.
Yeah, exactly. Chips in the middle of the table.
All in, comma.
Yeah. Jason knew where I was going.
Oh, I missed that. Was that like a,
Oh yeah, you don't have Twitter anymore.
tweet?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Skip Bayless, out of nowhere, tweets, "All in. Thank God he put a comma. My ass." Talking
Everybody's
about
like,
the Cowboys.
That is the strongest working comma I've ever seen.
Hats off to that comma. Good Lord. All right. Well, that kind of wraps up a little bit of what's already happened. Our next segment, all of us have decided each week we're going to take a division along with what's already happened. All of us will take a team within that division and then do one pick, one cut or trade, and a free agent signing or a cut or something like that. Basically, three distinct moves for that team in the offseason that we think that are both feasible. It's kind of like a mixture of like best case scenario, but also somewhat realistic. Like obviously every team would trade for Patrick Mahomes if that was possible. That obviously is not what we're doing. And then each of us take a team in that division, and then the three of us work together on one team in that division. And again, just kind of we'll do that up until the draft, and we may continue afterwards for some late free agent moves, what we would consider. But started off, we decided to go with the Super Bowl champ division, the AFC West. Are we starting together or separate, Jerry?
Let's start together.
Okay.
We'll branch
So
off.
the team that we decided to do together is the one that probably is the obviously needs the least changes because they just won a Super Bowl. We decided to do the Kansas City Chiefs. So, Jason, why don't you tell the folks at home who's our pick for the Kansas City Chiefs?
Our pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Kansas City
Pick number
Chiefs
32.
select. Pick number 32, the Kansas City Chiefs select Jerzon Newton. I hope I said that correct. But yeah, we decided that the Chiefs, which honestly, probably now we probably could have looked back into that. But Jerzon Newton is a defensive tackle, and at the time, the thought process was Chris Jones might not get re-signed. His contract, which it's pretty high. We thought they would focus more on the offensive side and try to get some more weapons for Patrick Mahomes. But that being said, a young defensive tackle to add with Chris Jones would still be a good pick. So we're going to go Jerzon Newton, defensive tackle from Illinois. Illinois. Sorry, not Illinois. Illinois. He is a big body athlete. He. I'm not. Let me see if I can find his combine grades, but from what I remember, he performed pretty well. Um, let's see here. I got him right here.
I believe he's
Prospect.
the number 2 or number 3 defensive tackle off the board, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct. He is going to
Generally
be the
considered.
number 2, number 3. You got Florida State's and the Texas dude. So I've seen them all three mixed up really everywhere. 6'2", 304, a pretty good pass rusher, and just another piece to add on to the defense.
Nice. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Jerry. How about you tell the people at home, who are we cutting or trading?
All right, so this pretty freaking good defensive back was signed to a non-exclusive franchise tag. His name is L'Jarius Sneed. But we're going to trade him because he's been asking for a trade. He wants out of Kansas City. I don't know why he would want to leave that situation. I mean, they're coming off back-to-back Super Bowls, going for a third. But
money.
Yeah. But I mean, you're on the franchise tag. Ride it out for one more year. Get your three-peat, man. But anyways.
Then get injured. One injury away from not getting a good contract. So
that's fair.
I'm not saying about that.
Fair. All right, so we are trading him to the Bengals for a 4th-round pick. The Bengals are in dire need of some defensive backs. They did just get Geno Stone from the Baltimore Ravens. However, they are still pretty depleted back there. Yeah, we're going to trade him to the Bengals. You're in the best situation in football right now. Why the heck would you want out of there? I don't know. I'm not a pro NFL player. He wants out of there. Let's trade him.
The last pick here, going over our notes here, I think that I don't know if Jerry has edited this or not.
I have not.
So, well, for everyone watching, we made this about 3 weeks ago when we were talking between all of us. So the wide receiver we chose is Gabe Davis to sign. As everyone watching obviously knows, Gabe Davis now plays for who, Jason?
The Jacksonville Jaguars, baby.
Yeah, exactly. So that one is not someone, but off the cuff here, I still think a wide receiver free agent signing would be perfect. I think someone like Mike Williams, who was just cut from the Chargers, or someone like T. Higgins, who wants out of Cincinnati, would be good pickups for the Kansas City Chiefs. What do you guys think?
I would agree.
Agreed.
So that was the one we all did together. Now all of us did one separately. Who do you have up first, Jerry, yourself?
I do.
Okay, so Jerry, as it would probably be obvious to everyone watching, decided to take the Denver Broncos. Jerry, who are you picking? Who are you cutting? And who are you signing?
So we cut the man himself, our starting quarterback, who's supposed to be our franchise quarterback for the next 7 years. And we cut him. So we got to fill the role. And we're going to do that in the draft. We're going to take our next franchise quarterback. Now, there's been a lot of talk about J.J. McCarthy going to the Denver Broncos.
Oh, yeah.
No, J.J. McCarthy. We're going with the lefty, the man who's come back from multiple knee injuries, started his career at Indiana, finished it at Washington, should have won the Heisman this year, Michael Penix Jr., the lefty himself. Played in the national championship this year. Unfortunately, didn't get the dub. But man, what a heck of a season he had. Beat another going to be first-round quarterback in Bo Nix twice this year against Oregon. Once in the regular season and once in the Pac-12 championship game. We're taking Michael Penix. He's been in college a long time. If there's a guy who can break his habits, get him NFL ready, it's going to be Sean Payton. Take him, mold him into what you want him to be. And don't take J.J. McCarthy. Please don't take J.J. McCarthy. We're taking Michael Penix, our next franchise quarterback. Now, like Ryan said, we made this 3 weeks ago. We all knew it was going to happen. My cut is Russell Wilson. We've had
Duh.
plenty of cuts since then. Unfortunately, one of the biggest cuts was Justin Simmons, which the two Broncos jerseys that I bought this year were Russell Wilson and Justin Simmons. So NFL jersey assurance doesn't cover cuts, by the way, only trades. So really unfortunate.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'm going to have to get some
That's
duct
tough.
tape for whoever wears those numbers next and put it over the back. But yeah, we ended up cutting Russell Wilson and Justin Simmons. Justin Simmons was obviously to make some cap room. Hopefully, he lands somewhere where he can make some moves and hopefully play for a contender because he's just a standout guy, a real good guy. So, cut Russell Wilson, replace him with Michael Penix Jr. We cut Justin Simmons, and we actually did replace him. We ended up picking up Brandon Jones. I think he was the guy you were alluding to earlier, Ryan. He was the Dolphins safety. He's not quite on the level of Justin Simmons, but we did pick him up and re-sign PJ Locke, so that's where we're filling that hole. My signing is going to be a tight end because we were pretty shallow at tight end last year. We did just re-sign Adam Troutman, who's a good young tight end, but we need somebody who's going to be able to help a rookie quarterback play. That's what rookie quarterbacks look for, right? They look for a good running game and somebody they can dump off to, like a good tight end. I ended up opting for the veteran Austin Hooper, used to play for Ryan's Cleveland Browns. He's been around the block. He's still on the free agent market. We could get him at a good price. Wouldn't be too much of a cap hit. And again, you just want a seasoned guy who knows what he's doing, who's been around the block, who can help a young rookie quarterback like Michael Penix Jr.
Yeah, I think that's all great. Austin Hooper is a very, very good tight end, and I think if you give him the right offense and the right quarterback, he could definitely be successful. He was very successful in Cleveland and in Tennessee before that.
Mm-hmm.
And you could probably sign him for pretty cheap.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I think his market value was like under $2 million. It's pretty low.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. The last team to round out the AFC West is going to be my team. Is going to be the Los Angeles Chargers. For my pick, the Chargers have the 5th pick in the NFL draft. They have a lot of holes on their team, including offensive line, including defense. But I decided to go with the perennial talent at tight end, Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers ran a 4.5 40 and had a 40-inch vertical jump. You're talking about an true star, a big body, and a good receiving tight end to go with Justin Herbert. I think he'd be the perfect pick. I think right now they could go offensive line, but that's going to be pretty. You're going to have to really get them up to speed in the NFL. I think Brock Bowers is one of those players that will immediately make a good impact, similar to like Sam Laporta this year, but even more talented. For my trade, this one may be a little bit controversial, but I think you should look for a trade or a cut for Derwin James post June 1st. You could do either one. You could cut him. If you cut him past June 1st, you save $10.5 million. If you trade him, you're saving about $12 million. And the Chargers right now are in a little bit of cap hell, so they're a team that definitely needs to look to restructure. They've already cut Mike Williams. I think if you cut Derwin James, who is a really good player, but just wasn't really able to make too much of an impact this year, and especially after Staley was fired, his usage dropped significantly, all the way down to like 40 to 50 snaps a game. So if you're talking about someone that you're paying millions and millions of dollars to, and he's only going to get 40 to 50 snaps a game, that's someone that you probably should look to cut. Now, with Harbaugh coming in, that could completely change. Who knows? So it'll be interesting to see. But my cut was Derwin James, not enough production for the amount of money they're paying him. And then the last kind of massive hole for the Chargers is their offensive line. My decision for signing was the recently cut David Bakhtiari. Now, this is somebody that is not going to be super cheap, but you might be able to get a good deal due to his how injury prone he is. He's someone that generally does not finish a full season, but he's definitely a good leader. And when he's in there, he's a top 5 offensive tackle in the NFL. So I think that would be great, especially for a new head coach coming in to have solid leadership on that offensive line.
I like it. I've seen at the combine, or maybe it was at his pro day. I think Georgia's pro day was today. Arthur Smith was talking to Brock Bowers, and there's a lot of memes online just not loving it for what he did to Kyle Pitts.
Run. Another thing, Brock Bowers was getting the comp to Debo Samuel, and he's a tight end. So like that's
Yeah.
the type of player you get with Brock Bowers.
Yeah.
So like
Yes.
a lot of crazy things, a
He's
lot of
fantastic.
usage that he should get.
Yes, he's a fantastic player. He's got breakaway speed. He's a big body, great target for the red zone, and you
Sneaky
have
fast.
freaky fast. And you guys, the Chargers have just lost. Did you say sneaky fast? Yeah, first guy in, last guy out. Lunch pail, coach's son. You know, anything
Look at the
else you could
pass.
say for a white guy? No, he's somebody that Justin Herbert, especially after losing Mike Williams, I think will appreciate having on his team. So I think that really wraps up our NFL
Whoa,
session.
Shit me, bro. Whoa. Not too fast, my friend.
Oh, I forgot. There's
Oakland
another
Raiders.
team. The Raiders play in this division too. I totally forgot. Jason, tell me about those Las Vegas Raiders.
So I was able to update mine for what has happened. So we have
And by
the
the way,
pick.
just Jerry. No,
Yeah.
no,
Just,
me.
yeah, sorry, Jerry.
no.
R.I.P. Rip.
We've already
Um,
made all our cuts, dog. We ain't cutting nobody else. We don't have anybody else to cut.
Fair enough.
Okay. So with what has happened with the Raiders, I believe they need to pick a defensive back. They have one solid one, but other than that, I think they've kind of been broke there for a couple years, especially with the issues off the field that they've been having. We won't go into that. But a top cornerback, I would say, I think, who fits this Oakland vibe the most.
Jason, they haven't
Especially
been to
from
Oakland for 4 years.
L.A.
Las Vegas.
Okay. Gosh,
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
Maybe we should have
Las
skipped over
Vegas.
this.
I'm sorry. Las Vegas, but I'm talking Oakland vibe, meaning in the sense of togetherness. Like their coach was in Oakland, you know what I'm saying? Like that vibe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice spin.
Their pick
Good save.
their pick should be Terrion Arnold, Alabama cornerback. And here's why. This man is not only gifted with height size, he's also a good athlete. There's a bit at the combine, I was watching a lot of that. I think he was the best cornerback in the drills. Not necessarily had the best times, but did have good times. He ran a 4.5, and he had a 37 vertical. So not like bad, nothing to write home about. But for a 6 foot, 190 pound corner, pretty good. So what I saw a lot was good flexibility, the movement, reaction, good ball skills. So like everything you want from a corner, and I think he would fit along well with that Oakland defense. Secondly, we have our sign. They need to go after another receiver. Your quarterback signing Gardner Minshew isn't anything to write home about, so you have to go get him weapons to be able to produce at a higher level. They have Devontae Adams. They did just cut white boy
Hunter Renfro.
Hunter Renfro, saved about 13 million in cap. So why not spend some of that to go get another weapon? And Mike Williams, if healthy, probably. I mean, if T. Higgins signs with the Bengals again, second best number 2, I would say, maybe third best. But he's up there for a number 2 receiver. He's a go up and get it ball, and Gardner Minshew is not that most accurate quarterback. So having someone that he can just He already has that person, but if he can do it to both sides, you're looking at a good offense. They did cut, unfortunately, Josh Jacobs, so they didn't re-sign Josh Jacobs. So I think the best option for them to get a running back for a pretty good price would be to go get J.K. Dobbins in a trade. Just a similar trade to what the Texans did with the Bengals. Go get J.K. Dobbins for a 6th-round pick. Pay him a little bit, probably going to be around that. Honestly, probably be less than that $8 million range because he's been pretty much hurt for most of his career. So probably would be around 5 to 6 would be my guess. Maybe a 1-year prove-it deal. Stay healthy. We'll go get you paid next year, type of thing. And when healthy, J.K. Dobbins is a top 10 running back. When healthy.
Yeah, he averages for his career 5.6 yards per carry, or 5.4 yards per carry, something like that.
So I'm looking on.
He's a dog.
I'm looking on Spot Track right now. It actually says that J.K. Dobbins is a free agent. I don't know if that's true or if he's on.
No, it's true.
So they wouldn't have to trade for him.
Is he unrestricted or is he a?
He's probably a restricted free agent because he's coming off of his rookie contract.
I was gonna say. That's what I was thinking. So,
but
they would be able to. The Ravens would be able to match, but they're probably not going to since they got Derrick.
Yeah.
So instead, you can, if he's a restricted free agent, you can still trade for him, right? Or am I wrong?
I think
I don't know the answer to that.
They could maybe do like a sign and trade.
Probably a 1-year deal, sign and trade thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
sorry, one quick question. Do the Raiders still have Jacoby Myers on the roster? Or is he a free agent?
I believe so. I believe so.
Let's look it up. Hang with us real quick while we look up if Jacoby Myers is still on the Raiders. Right, that's who you asked for?
Yep. Yes, he is.
He is.
Yep.
Yeah, so if they wouldn't got Mike Williams, they would have a pretty good receiver room there. If only they had a quarterback to throw it to.
They would have a. They would have a. I'm just gonna throw it up.
F it, one of them down there somewhere.
They're all tall. That Hail Mary pass is, and someone gonna catch it. Somebody better catch this ball.
Exactly. Well, that wraps up the AFC West. We've got Oakland Raiders, the Los Angeles Chargers, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Denver Broncos, all with our picks for who we would pick, sign, and who we would cut. And that also wraps up the NFL portion of our show today. Moving on to what many would say is the most exciting sports time of the year. We have March Madness right around the corner. Right now, the regular season's winding down. The conference tournaments are starting. Next week, the brackets will be set, and we will have an ESPN Tournament Challenge group. We will be inviting all of our tens of listeners to join us in the group and see who will persevere through this challenge. What have you guys seen, if you guys watched any, of the regular season of college basketball so far this year?
So I was at my fiance's parents' house on Sunday, and her dad turned on Wisconsin-Purdue, and that was the first college basketball game I've watched all season long. So
Did
that's
Purdue win?
They did. Wisconsin kind of brought it back. It was a 12-point game at halftime. Wisconsin brought it back to within 5, but Purdue was able to pull away. Zach Edey is awesome. He's going to win National Player of the Year. But Purdue is Purdue, man. They always find a way to blow it, either in the Big Ten tournament or in the Big Dance itself. Obviously, they lost to Fairleigh Dickinson last year.
Yeah, but Ohio State has beaten Purdue when they're ranked top 5 the last 6 or 7 times that they've been ranked that high. It's pretty crazy.
That is pretty crazy.
Just how Purdue is OSU's Achilles heel in football, we seem to be their Achilles heel in basketball. It's a little silly.
Give and take there. Yeah, so I don't watch any regular season college basketball ever. I watch very minimal amount of the conference championships. March Madness is still my favorite weekend of the year. The first weekend of March Madness, it is by far my favorite weekend of the year. I am so excited to get the bracket, to set up a bracket, to lose on the first day, the first game. It happens every year. Last year, I think it was Colorado State, Michigan, and freaking Colorado State blew it. Maybe that was 2 years ago. But every year, this is the best weekend of the year. You got your 4 screens set up, one has separate games. It's awesome. For sports junkies, it's freaking amazing.
Back in college, we used to put out the TVs in the mod and watch all the games at the same time. It was move all the furniture in our college dorm and skip all of our classes that Thursday, Friday, and then watch all weekend long. Just nothing but college basketball all day. Doesn't get much better than that.
It doesn't, man. And then I think
Yeah, it definitely doesn't. Because the NFL draft is not my favorite moment in the world. But yeah, definitely March Madness. The best, yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. And none of us have watched a lick of college basketball, except for I did go to one of the OSU men's games this year. And we beat Penn State in one
Nice.
of the few Big Ten games that we've won this year. So Ohio State stinks. Although, since Diebler's taken over.
I was about to say, well, hold on, wait a minute now.
Yeah, since Debo's taken over, we've beaten Purdue and we've only lost 1 game. So he's been pretty good as our head coach. I hope we keep him, not just as interim, but make him our full-time head coach here. So
nice.
Do we win the tournament or is the Big Ten tournament?
What'd you say?
Do you think Ohio State wins the Big Ten tournament and
No.
makes it into the actual tournament?
No, they would have to beat Purdue and Illinois. Who were
And
both really good.
Did we not just beat Purdue?
Yeah, but that was in the regular
2 weeks ago?
season. That was in the regular season.
Yeah.
March. This is what dreams are made of.
Listen,
All right?
if Ohio State does, that would be fantastic. They're going to be a 12 seed and
Okay.
get blown out in the first round.
Do
But
they have any shot of making the tournament without winning
No.
the Big Ten championship? No.
No, they're under
I think-
500 in the Big Ten.
I think if we make it to the championship and we don't win, I think there's a shot. If we don't make it to the championship at all, I think there's like 0 shot from what I read.
I don't know. If they put us in, I would be very surprised. We are not very good.
I know.
Although, again, with Diebler, who knows? We play Iowa. What? That's not right. Oh. There was a number 10 next to Ohio State. I was thinking we were number 10 in the country. I'm like, no way.
No.
It's for the Big Ten.
Number
tournament.
10 in the Big 10.
We're number 10. We're a 10 seed in the Big Ten. That's how good we are. So
Hey, tell them who's under us. All right, tell them who's under us.
Michigan's had their worst team. I think maybe that they've had it a long time, maybe ever. They're 8-23 overall.
Oh my
3-17 in the Big Ten. Yeah, they're the bottom of the barrel.
Michigan?
They've won 3 games. Yes.
What?
Michigan. Yes.
Michigan's always good at basketball.
Yes. No, they are god awful.
Spent all their NIL money on football, I guess.
I guess.
Jeez.
Good Lord. Ohio State's 19-12, which is one of our worst records in a while, and we're 9-11. Never forget in the Big Ten. So
Yeah.
just
okay.
say it. Don't.
So I know Big Ten's got Purdue, Illinois, and Wisconsin are like the big 3 right now, right? That are pretty good. That are probably going to make the tournament.
Nebraska.
And Nebraska. Okay.
No, Nebraska over Wisconsin.
Okay. I think
Nebraska is like 25th overall in the country. I want to say they are 22-9, 12-8 in the Big Ten.
all right.
Purdue's like the number 2 or 3 team in the country.
Yeah, they're really good. They're behind UConn, I think.
UConn and Houston.
UConn.
Houston's the number 1 team.
UConn is insane though, dude. They are so freaking good. Their conference is so hard too.
Very true. Very true. Well, any last thoughts here on college basketball?
I was just gonna go through who has got an automatic bid so far. You will see these teams in the tournament Thursday next week. No matter what. Morehead State, Longwood, Drake, Stetson.
Who are those first two teams again? I didn't hear it very well.
Back is crazy.
Have some wherewithal, Jerry.
No, that was on purpose.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah, those were 7 teams apart in the list, but he wanted to make sure he read them back to back.
No, ESPN's got them back to back. Actually,
I hope they play each other. Are you kidding me? Morehead against Longwood?
Oh no, and Drake's like right below him too, man. All right,
Drake.
So you got those 3 teams. Stetson.
I don't get it.
Drake with Longwood? Oh, okay.
I just
got it.
Just kidding. I don't understand what you're talking about.
All right,
There's
I'm
a
done.
Picture.
Moving on.
I've never seen it.
Okay.
I've never seen it.
Okay, all right.
You'll see the bracket next week. You'll see who's in the tournament next.
Morehead State, Longwood, Drake. Who else we got?
Stetson, James Madison, Samford, Wagner, Oakland, Charleston, St. Mary's, and South Dakota State.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. So that's the automatic bid so far. Obviously, we're all champions of all the conferences get an automatic bid into the round of 64. And then it goes from there. Madness then ensues.
Does.
Any last comments on college basketball?
Nope.
Well, next week we'll have a bracket. We'll have everything ready for you guys to join. Everything set up. The brackets will be set, and we might get in a little bit into the NBA as that is winding down, and free agency will have had another week of craziness for us to recap. But that pretty much wraps it up.
Real quick, wait.
Oh, go ahead, Jason.
Where are we going to be posting that on Twitter?
Yeah, we'll post it on Twitter.
Yep. We'll post it on our social media. We also will be broadcasting on Tuesday next week. I've been saying Wednesday. It'll actually be Tuesday, so don't forget to join us next Tuesday. Please.
Last
announcement for Jason.
Tony Alford, old running back coach for Ohio State, is a snake and is going to join Michigan as their running back coach. So that was it. I'm sorry.
All right.
I do actually. I actually have some breaking news. Adam Schefter has just tweeted that Browns quarterback and NFL Comeback Player of the Year Joe Flacco has reached an agreement with the Indianapolis Colts. 1-year deal, $8.7 million, 4.5 guaranteed.
I like that for him. That's a great place. I mean, good, smart pickup for the Colts because their quarterback could be hurt week 1 because the way he runs. But I like that.
1 second, guys.
He's grabbing his jersey.
He's grabbing the jersey. He's grabbing the jersey for sure.
So should I burn it now or later? I don't.
Burn it now.
No, it was amazing having Joe Flacco on the team. I'm happy he got a little bit more money to extend his career. Good for him, and I hope he does well with Indianapolis. I know he's obviously probably going to back up Anthony Richardson, but Anthony Richardson being the type of player he is, Flacco may see the field a little bit. So
is Richardson even going to be ready for the start of the year?
I believe so.
Sure he is. He got hurt week 2, 3?
Yeah, week 3.
Pretty early.
All right. Anything else before I wrap the show up?
Imagine being an Ohio State coach and then going to Michigan. All right.
He's going to be an inside agent. He's going to wreck it from the inside.
Literally. They get the playbooks 2 weeks ago. And now he goes to Michigan. Come on now, dog. Come on, dog. Come on, son. All right. I'm good.
Unbelievable. Are you sure?
Unbelievable. Okay. I'm good.
All right. Well, that after being made to look like an idiot 3 times now, after trying to close the show each time, that will wrap it up for us. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, follow us on our social media at Unnamed Sports S, and we will see you next Tuesday. Thank you.
Peace out.
Peace.